Hello, lovelies. Welcome to another edition of Hold My Copy 2021. Thought I would start this off with showing you what happens when I come outside in the morning. Kitties. Kitties everywhere. Oh, chickies. Say hello, Anise. You're on camera. Ba, ba, ba. It's a little windy today, and everyone is trying to be my friend. So I think for the rest of this video, we're going to take it inside. So now we're inside, and I will be filming from the office that my daughter is now using as her art studio. She's discovered this pretty cool thing called paint pouring, and oh my goodness, she is really taking to it. Let me show you some things. Okay, so this is one she did last night, and this one. And this one over here. They're really pretty. Some of them look like coral reefs, and some of them look like marble, and some of them look like the sky. I'll be right back. I left my coffee. I'm back. I couldn't find my coffee cup, so I had to get another one. Yes, this is the cup I got from the Denver Aquarium. I am in love with this pattern. It's just so pretty. And so August has been interesting. I was editing Ghost with Hope for the December release to finish my Hold My Coffee 2021 publishing goals, and it will be book number 10. Yesterday I got an email back, and it was the Wild Anemone, which is the second in the Pagosa Cliffs Anemones series. So that come back from my editor, so going to edit that. Another ticket on my August 80K editing challenge, which I'm doing very well on. I'm going to have probably 250,000 words edited by the end of this month. On top of the interesting little thing that I did, come here. We have a new puppy. Stand by. Oh, you're such a big boyo. He's such a big boyo. Okay. This is Kohaku. From the Inuyasha anime. Kohaku was Sango's younger brother. We had a tragedy. You all know Sango. Well, there are very bad people in this world, and some of them will swerve into your driveway to kill your dog. And that's what happened to Sango, sadly. So Jenny was devastated, so we got another puppy because our livestock guard dogs are getting older, and we need a younger dog to run with them for a while so he can learn his job. So that's what he's going to be doing. He's going to be growing up a big boy with the goats. Yes, he is. He met his first chicken today. It was terrifying. He didn't know what to think. The chicken intimidated him. Okay, down you go, boy. That's a good boy. So, where was I? Oh, yes. Hold my coffee. So on the 12th, I was talking with one of my friends at Editingle Indie House, and they're doing a Halloween anthology, which I submitted for in July, and then they were doing a Christmas anthology. And several of the people who had signed up for the Christmas anthology didn't submit. They have the goal, so they extended it to the middle of this month, and they didn't have enough stories. And so I was talking with my friend Catherine, who I love Catherine so much. I told her, I said, well, I've got this one short on my Christmas Wish for Shorts book on Inkitt. If you want, I can expand it. So I ended up expanding about a 2,000 word short into 15,000 words, and editing those 15,000 words from the 12th through the 19th. Now, I did take one day off because I wrote 11,000 words over the weekend and my brain went, and so Monday I didn't do any writing. The Monday after that, I was like, nope, I wrote about 200 words and I was like, my brain. So, yeah, 15,000 words. And actually, I think 1,100 of the words from the short I ended up not using. They basically just became plot points. So basically, the short story became a plot draft. Go! The cat does not want to play with him. He's very, very upset. I'll be right back. Fingers crossed. Sleep. Biscuit. Okay, where was I? Oh, so A Christmas Wish for a Christmas Widow is basically just a short about the day of a wedding. And the James and Maddie are pretty much just remembering how they met and things that happened. So I took that as a framework, and then I literally just word vomited. Me and my hummingbird muse, we just dropped all of the words we could as fast as we could, and then we went back and I moved all the scenes around and I put things back together. And so it's funny and it's sad, and I'm going to be releasing it with the Editingle Christmas Anthology, and then I have the second part of the Werecow story is going to be in the third Halloween anthology. So yeah, I'm busy with them. And then I have, of course, The Wild Anemone coming out this year. So I thought I would read you the blurb. James Thibodeau lived under the controlling manipulations of his family until the day he nearly died in a Colorado blizzard from a foolish mistake. Mail carrier Maddie Laramie was a Christmas widow only a month after her marriage. Struggling to raise her son alone, she never expected to rescue someone on the anniversary of the day she had been saved. And she never expected to be able to feel the want to love again. Christmas is bringing these two together, but can James free himself to return to her? So that's the blurb. I'm terrible at writing blurbs. I apologize for the blurb. The blurb sucks. Okay. So, where to read? I can read you the pancake scene. That's a very funny scene. So basically, James comes to look at this old lodge because he wants to turn it into a boutique ski resort, which is all the trend now. Having they take these old lodges and like mansions, and they turn it into like almost a bed and breakfast, and for cross country skiers. You know, the most remote, freshest powder. It's all the thing. I don't ski, but I water ski, but not snow ski. But I know that chasing powder is one of the biggest pastimes in Colorado in the winter. Speaking of which, it is August 20th. We had snow in the high country last night. My trees are turning yellow. My flowers are seeding out. My goats are getting fluffy. I'm not ready for winter. I am not ready for winter, and it's coming very fast. So, back to the story. Where's the pancake scene? Anyway, he goes up to buy this, to make an offer on this old lodge, Square Top Mountain, which is an actual place in Aguilera County outside of Pagosa Springs, the real Pagosa Springs, not my made-up Pagosa Cliffs. But it's this mountain, and it's got this rock formation on the top that kind of looks, well, let me show you a picture. So he goes to buy the lodge that looks at this mountain, and he's in like a rental sports car because, why not? And he's trying to drive out in a blizzard, and he wrecks. And he thinks, well, I've been mountain biking in Smoky Mountains, and I know when you get up higher, you can sometimes catch a signal. So he decides to climb the mountain in the blizzard in a business suit and loafers. Doesn't end well, falls down the mountain, breaks his leg, loses his phone, and Maddie finds him. She takes him back to the lodge because she's delivering mail, and his car has blocked the road, so she can't get back down. So they're pretty much stuck at the lodge for the 2 days of the duration of the blizzard. Let's see, where are we? I know it's here somewhere. I'm having to fast forward, but I'm wrangling the puppy. Hold on. And here we are. Okay. Sipping her coffee, she picked up the old Western Frank was reading and started at the beginning. 10 chapters later, he stirred, and Maddie welcomed him back to the land of the conscious. Welcome back. Are you hungry or thirsty? Does your leg hurt? Thirsty. Who are you? James stared at the honey-haired beauty in an oversized sweatshirt. He blinked at her, then murmured, I think I know you. I'm Maddie. I found you on the way back down the mountain. I brought you here because your car blocked the road. She helped him to raise up and held a cup to his lips. The blizzard trapped us for the night and maybe longer. But the sheriff knows you are here and is going to try to bring an ambulance as soon as the road is clear. Is there anyone else awake? Where's Frank? He went to sleep. She looked at him as he squirmed. Are you okay? I need Frank. I need his help, James insisted, as he blinked past the malaise of painkillers. He's asleep. What do you need? Where's the other guy? Larry is also asleep. What do you need? Maddie demanded, starting to get irritated. Crying out in pain as he shifted the walking boot on his broken leg, he panted for a moment, then shouted, Frank! Larry! Stop it! Maddie put her hand over his mouth and hissed at him. What is wrong with you? Just get them, he demanded. Hurry. Not until you tell me what is the matter. She used the same tone she did on Jared Jr. when he was having a fit. I have to go to the bathroom, he admitted in embarrassment. There's a urinal bottle. Not that number. Number 2. His blush crept up his pale cheeks, and Maddie couldn't stop her giggle. She slapped her hand over her mouth. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to laugh. It's just, you sounded exactly like my son for a moment. I'll help you. You can't lift me, James objected. I dragged you halfway down the mountain and loaded you into Bessie. I can get you a dozen steps to the bathroom and back. Maddie pulled off the oversized sweatshirt and tossed it in her chair, then carefully swung his legs off the bed. Only put your weight on your good leg and let me carry the other side. He put his arms over her shoulder. He knew he was about to be more embarrassed than he had been in his whole life, but he couldn't wait. Surprisingly, the petite woman was as strong as she claimed. She helped him into the bathroom, and when he turned around in front of the toilet, she hooked a finger in the elastic band of his boxer briefs. "What are you doing?" James demanded, stopping her. "I'm trying to get into your pants," Maddie snickered, then added in a calmer voice. "Seriously, I'm just trying to help you pull them down so you don't poop them." "I can do it. Just wait outside," James insisted as he held to the sink. "Okay, but if you fall and wedge yourself between the toilet and the tub, you're staying there until Elder Greyhawk wakes up." Maddie stepped out the door, but only partly closed it as she flipped on the light and the fan. "I'll be right here." Sitting down carefully, James banged his foot in the walking boot and gritted his teeth not to shout profanities. He pushed the door the rest of the way shut. As he sat on the cold toilet seat, he tried not to think about the beautiful woman outside the door. Then he realized he couldn't do it and groaned. His mind raced for a solution as he began to feel nauseous. "Maddie, could you make me some toast? My stomach is upset." "Can't poop with me by the door, can ya?" "You are just like my preschooler. Would it help if I promised to make you a smiley face pancake if you poop?" Maddie teased as she giggled until her eyes were watering. "Please go away," James answered in such a defeated tone. Maddie almost felt sorry for him. "Fine. I'll go make breakfast. Do your business and knock on the wall. I'll be back to get you back to bed." Shaking her head, Maddie headed to the kitchen. Unable to decide if it was fatigue or stress that was making her so silly, Maddie kept giggling as she quickly pulled out the ingredients to make pancakes. All the Sundays spent cleaning Elder and Mrs. Greyhawk's home meant she didn't need to search for anything. In less than 5 minutes, she started pancakes cooking. Looking at a mason jar of chocolate chips, Maddie decided she had to do it, and she poured a handful out, dropping the chips onto the second pancake in the shape of a smiley face. She wiped her mirth-spawned tears as she laughed. In less than 10 minutes, she had a tray made. Looking at the smiley face on the pancake, she felt mischievously happy for the first time in years. "I really am an evil person," Maddie snickered to herself as she carried the food down the hall. Setting the tray down, it was only a few minutes before he flushed the toilet twice. Then water ran in the sink. Finally, he knocked tentatively on the wall. "Are you done?" Maddie asked from the other side of the door. James didn't want her to come back in, but the momentary foolishness of putting weight on his broken leg as he pulled up his underwear almost made him faint, and he did not want to do it again. "Yes, thank you." This was worse than boarding school. She opened the door and came in, helped him back to bed, and carefully lifted his foot. She placed pillows behind him, and he noticed the sparkle of a simple wedding band on a chain around her neck. She set a tray across his lap. He frowned in confusion, noticing a pattern on the top of the pancake. "Oops, let me turn that frown upside down." Grinning, she turned the plate, and he realized it was a smiley face. "Wow, really? Aw, don't you like smiley pancakes? I promised you I'd make them if you pooped like a big boy, Maddie reminded in her best patronizing mom voice. Mommy's so proud of you. He began cutting the pancakes and trying to ignore her as she sat down. So why the whole... She waved her hand at the closed bathroom door. Don't you have any boundaries? James asked in annoyance. Evidently not. Probably because I spend too much time alone delivering mail with no one to talk to but Bessie. Maddie shrugged, putting her chin in her palm, with her elbow on the arm of the chair she sat in. Well, what makes a grown man act like my 4.5-year-old? James poked another bite of the fluffiest homemade pancakes he'd ever eaten in his mouth and refused to answer her amused blue eyes. After he swallowed, he gulped some black coffee, then asked, Does your husband mind you not wearing your wedding ring because you're so funny? Maddie's spine went rigid as her mirth drowned in a deluge of ice-water grief. 5 years and 2 days ago, I became a Christmas widow. She stood up and walked out as the cold feeling that had kept her company since Jaren's death returned, chilling her like the blizzard outside. It took a moment for James to process what she had said. Then he groaned and rubbed his forehead, muttering, Way to charm the ladies, James the Jock. Finishing the delicious pancakes, he managed to put the tray in the chair. Then he took the additional painkiller Mr. Greyhawk put on the bedside table. He wanted to cry after he twisted his broken leg slightly, trying to scoot into a more reclining position. Finally, he settled and laid there watching the snow come down in diagonal lines as the malaise of medication leached his consciousness away. Maddie came in quietly and picked up his tray. James was sleeping facing the window. The blizzard had stalled over the mountains and was trying to bury the world, but the wind was starting to slack. Balancing the tray on one arm, she reached up to tug the curtain closed on the glaring white of the waning storm. Boarding school. Excuse me? Maddie turned. Don't close the curtain. I like the view. James pushed himself up on one elbow. Grandmere Charlize sent me away to boarding school. I kept running away and going back to Yarber. Then I ended up in Tennessee. The other boys grew up in rich families. They weren't very nice to me, despite my mother's family name and money, because I wasn't one of them. They liked to haze me when they caught me in the bathroom. I've never heard of Yarber. Why didn't your family stop them? Maddie asked. She pushed the curtain wider so he could see the view when the storm finally cleared. Yarber is the Cuban district in Tampa. After my parents died, only my grandpapa cared about me before his death, and my Cuban grandmother passed away. All my cousins hated me because I wasn't one of them. I'm so sorry. Her sympathy was real. He could feel it and see it in her eyes. Is that why you said there was no one to call, that they didn't care? Yes, boarding school sucked, but it got me away from them. Suddenly, a patch of blue appeared beyond her shoulder, and he realized the winter sky was the same color as her eyes. James! Hello, James! Maddie called his name. What? He realized he'd been staring at her. The patch of blue sky was gone. You zoned out completely. I asked where you went to college. Tulane. I got a master's in business with a minor in real estate development. You? I dropped out of Western State when Jaren Jr. was born. She touched the ring around her neck and sighed. Do you need anything else? He shook his head, watching her starting to leave. He didn't want her to go. She was the most genuine person he had met in a long time. "Who's Bessie?" he blurted out, trying to get her to stay for a moment more. Maddie grinned. "She's my trusty Jeep. I ran her out of gas to get you back here. I owe her a full tank and a bottle of fuel additive." Maddie winked at his dismayed look. "I think she loves you. She usually stalls and refuses to move whenever she drops below an eighth of a tank, but she kept going to the last drop to save you. I never suspected she had a thing for foolhardy city slickers. I might have to do an intervention." He blinked. "I'm so high on whatever Mr. Greyhawk gave me that I can't tell if you're serious or crazy." Maddie laughed at his confused look. "I prefer crazy over serious. Serious is no fun." Then she walked out. So that is one of the chapters I wrote for A Christmas Rescue by a Christmas Widow, for the Christmas Anthology that I did in 8 days. I hope it goes over well. Anyway, I am going back to editing, and it has been, August has been interesting. It's been that 2020 never ended kind of a month. And I guess I will see you all next time. Remember, when things get bad, tell them to hold your coffee. You've got things to do. Be blessed and have a lovely day.